Hello again viewers, today just going to show you how to fill out the UK Locator Form step by step. Just going to show you the way I fill it out. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can set up accounts, you can skip that as well. Hope it helps you. Quite a few people have requested this. Don't worry about it, it's pretty straightforward, and if you're on holiday in Tenerife or Spain or other places, there's actually quite a few shops that are offering this service to do it all for you. You just give them all your details. Be careful, obviously if you're doing it yourself online, you only want to do it through the gov.uk official website. That's the only website you want to do it from. Be aware of a couple of other sites offering to do it for you, charging quite a high fee. They're basically scams. You always want to do it through the gov.uk website. Okay, so I'll leave a link of the URL below, the website you go to, in the comments and in the description. Couple of things to note. You're going to need all these details: your passport details, your travel details, the address where you're staying, booking reference number, very important. If you're booking a PCR day 2 test, you're going to need that as well. So you'll need all those documents to hand, okay? Check where you're travelling to, because it might differ slightly for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland at different times. Normally it doesn't, but sometimes it can be slightly different, especially Scotland. When to submit your form, remember you can only do this 48 hours before you arrive in the UK. So if you're arriving back in the UK on Saturday afternoon at 3 PM, you want to make sure you're probably doing it maybe Thursday night. Just give it 48 hours before you travel. Okay, so don't do it a week before you travel. You're not going to be able to submit the reference numbers and fill in the form correctly. You have to do it 48 hours before you travel. So it's pretty straightforward. Let's get started. It's going to ask, do you have a Passenger Locator Form account? You can set up an account to actually save you time, but if you want to skip that, you just go no. So again, it'll ask, do you want to create an account? We'll go no, start a new Passenger Locator Form. Saying I've already got one open in the new application, we'll just skip that and say open, start a new application. Email address, so this is where a copy of your QR code can get sent to you, so it's important that you get this correct. You'll download the code at the end of the form anyway when it's complete, won't make any difference. We'll just put a dummy one in just now, okay? dummytest@gmail.com. Obviously put in your own email address here. Password, we'll just put dummy. Must include a letter and a number or a symbol, okay, so we'll just put dummy 777 explanation. At this point you probably want to save your email address and your password, so save it on a file, maybe notepad, or just write it down maybe if you prefer that. Okay, so enter a phone number. Again, this is quite important. This is where if they need to contact you, you put down your correct phone number. Country code is going to be 44. Just put a dummy number, okay. Again. Just put the same number. Secondary phone number, I don't know why you're bothering doing that. You can put it in if you want. If you're really desperate for them to contact you, you can put in a secondary number as well. So just put save and continue. Check, this just double checks that you've entered the details correctly. That's absolutely fine, I've entered them correctly. Save and continue. Contacting you by phone. So they're going to ask you here, in order to carry out track and trace functions, you might need to be contacted. So this is really up to yourself. You can see you can be contacted by phone call and text message, only by phone call or only by text message. I would probably go for this one if you check your phone all the time. If you prefer maybe to get a phone call, somebody on the flight is tested positive and you want to get called as quick as possible, you probably want to do that one, phone call and text message. Either one's fine. So enter your given name, I'm going to be Joe Blogs. Save and continue. What's your sex? Male. Date of birth. I'll just put anything in here for this. 7th of the 6th, 1974. Is your home address UK? Yes. Enter the UK postcode. So UK postcode, let me think. Let's just put anyone in. MSN homepage coming up. Tells you what's trending now. I've definitely not put any of these search terms in case you're wondering. You can see the Rangers news there. I'm a St Mirren fan, so I've not put that in, in case you're wondering. So we'll just put Glasgow Airport, eh? Glasgow Airport, PA3 2ST. Find the UK address, and that's where I live, Glasgow Airport. Obviously you're going to put your home address here. I'm just doing this just to show you how it works basically. Save and continue. Country of issue is going to be United Kingdom. And when you put in United it comes up with British citizen, GBR by default. Passport number. We'll just do a wee dummy one just now. Remember, this is just showing you how the form works, okay? Obviously you're going to put in all your accurate details. Expiry date, this is quite important. Make sure you get this right. So expiry date, again, we'll just put 7th of the 6th, 2023. You check your passport when it expires. What are your travel plans? I'm going to stay in the UK. Where will you arrive in the UK? Well, I'm going to arrive at Glasgow Airport. So I'm going to put in Glasgow. Gives me a couple of options. Glasgow Prestwick Airport. That's basically where you'd arrive with Ryanair. Prestwick Airport, it's not in Glasgow, it's about 40 minutes away from Glasgow. But you can put that there if you're flying in with Ryanair. I'm just going to put Glasgow Airport, that's where I'm arriving back into, okay? What country are you travelling from? I'm just going to put down Spain. Good thing about the locator form is, once you start filling it in, options will come up automatically. They recognise where you're going to put in. So I'll just click the drop down Spain. Which company are you travelling with? I'm just going to say Jet2. And again, it gives you options. Jet2.com Limited, Jet Airways, JetBlue. So there's all sort of different companies coming up. Again, if you put in Ryanair or TUI, it'll come up as well. So I'll just put Jet2 Limited. What's the flight number? Flight number, you'll have to check your booking reference number, so you can log into the Jet2 app or log in online, or just check your emails and it will tell you what the flight number is. I'll just make one up here. I'll go LS163. Save and continue. When do you plan to arrive in the UK? So I'll say I'm going to arrive tomorrow. I'm filming this on the 1st of December, so I'm going to say 2nd of December. What time will you arrive? Let's say 2100 hours. When do you plan to leave the UK? I'm not planning to leave the UK, so it's optional. I'm going to leave that blank. Don't bother with that unless you're definitely leaving the UK at some point. Okay, so what you need to do when you arrive in the UK depends on where you visit during the first 10 days when you arrive, okay? So have you visited or will you visit any islands in this country during the 10 days before you arrive in the UK? Well, I've just been to Tenerife, so I'm going to go yes. I'm going to put in Tenerife. And you'll see Tenerife appears on the drop down. Did you transit through the island via plane or train without passing border control? Nope. Have you visited or will you visit the mainland of this country? Nope. Arrival date, again, this is optional. The departure date is optional. You can put in when you arrived there and when you departed, but it is optional. Oh, actually I'll go back here. Quite good that came up. So I'm just pointing out, enter the date you left this country. So I'm going to arrive tomorrow, so I'm going to put in the 2nd. So although you can skip that part there, the arrival date, I normally actually fill it in, you have to put in the departure date. So departure date is going to be tomorrow, 2nd of December, the same day I arrive in the UK. Save and continue. Have you visited or will you visit any other countries or islands in the 10 days before coming to the UK? So a wee bit confusing this bit, so you can actually put in yes again, like Spain, Canary Islands, Tenerife, but you can just put in no. Okay, so at this point, it's going to ask for your vaccination status. Now, if you're watching this and you're unvaccinated, I'm unfortunately not going to through it all. Majority of people watching this are going to be vaccinated, and I'm fully vaccinated as well. So I'm just going to show you what I fill in. Okay, so apologies if you're not vaccinated yet or fully vaccinated, but I'm just going to show you what I do. So basically, it's going to say you'll need to enter your vaccination status later in this form or prove that you meet the criteria when you travel. Okay, so do you meet the criteria above? I'm going to go yes. So it will say you must bring proof of your eligibility with you during travel. So you have to bring your NHS COVID pass, or in Scotland you can bring the printed letter saying you're fully vaccinated as well. Again, just click on save and continue. You've declared that you meet the vaccination status criteria, you're fully vaccinated. Then it's going to say, how do you meet the vaccination status? So at this point, I'm going to say I'm fully vaccinated by a recognised programme, which is going to be Pfizer one, okay? Which country did you receive the vaccination? It's going to be United Kingdom. Actually, it's going to be Scotland, this one. If you see the drop down, when you put in United, it automatically defaults and it brings you out all the options. So, like myself, if you're from Scotland, you're going to go there. Obviously, if you're English, you're going to put in England, Northern Ireland, Wales, etc. So all the countries are covered. So this one actually does narrow it down to the countries in the United Kingdom, okay? I'm going to put Scotland, save and continue. So at this point, it's going to say verify your vaccination status. Now at this point, this is where it can get tricky for a lot of people, especially people who are not that familiar with technology. So what it's going to say is, do you have a QR code that you can use to verify your vaccination status? So you can actually scan your QR code into this form, but I'm going to keep it really simple here, and I'm going to say no, I don't have a QR code. So that basically means if you get asked at border control to prove your vaccination status, you have to make sure you've got the NHS COVID pass or you've got the printed letter from Scotland. This is the most simple way to do it. You can put yes and it'll start asking you to upload documents and scan QR codes and take pictures. There's a well-known phrase that I use quite a lot: keep it simple, stupid. That's me. So keep it as simple as you can, I think, when you're filling in these forms. If you start to upload QR codes and that, you can start getting yourself stressed out. It is very easy to do, to be honest with you, so if you're comfortable with doing it, just do it. But there's not actually really any benefit in doing it, providing you've got your vaccination stuff with you, which most people will have on the phone anyway. So at this point, it's going to say, do you have a QR code that you can use to verify your vaccination status? So I'm just going to go no. Important here, you'll be able to verify your vaccination status at the UK border if this applies to you. So if they ask you, you can verify it. So I'm just going to put no. I'm not going to scan anything just now. Are you travelling to the UK with anyone under 18 years old? In this case, I'm going to put no. So based on your situation, what describes your situation, I need to self-isolate when I arrive in the UK. I have a government approved exemption from self-isolation. So we're just going to put in, I need to self-isolate. Because at the moment, while doing this video, you have to do the PCR day 2 test and waiting the results. So this has changed slightly. When you watch this video again, it might change again, where you don't require a day 2 test. So click save and continue. Do you have an address for where you'll stay during your first days First 10 days in the UK, I'll put yes. In fact, I'm just going to go back to that actually. Bear with me. Yeah, just checking that there. So it has changed. So you need to self-isolate when you arrive in the UK. At the moment, as I said, this might change, okay? So, do you have an address where you'll stay during your first 10 days? Yep, certainly do. The Glasgow airport. We're just going to stay there, wait the next flight back out to Tenerife. So, do you plan on staying at this address? Yes, I will. When will you arrive there? I'm going to arrive on the 2nd of December. Again, if you're watching this video and you get stuck at any point, just pause it. All you need to do is copy it step by step. Just pause at any point if I'm going too fast or speaking too fast. So when you arrive there, 2nd of December, when will you leave there? I'm not even going to fill that bit in. Will you stay anywhere else? Again, I'm going to say no. If you're going to stay anywhere else, you can do yes and fill in other addresses, but no's a lot easier, to be honest with you. Okay, so it's asking me to book a test package for when you arrive in the UK. It's telling me that from the 30th of November, lateral flow tests will no longer be accepted. You'll need to book a PCR test. I'm going to do a separate video showing you where to book PCR tests. The varying price, the cheapest one that I've found that is accepted on the locator form is £20. I've used it before, I've had no issues, but be aware, check out reviews. The more money you pay for these PCR forms, the quicker and more reliable sometimes they can be. So the one I've booked at £20 with a company called Expert Medicals, I'll leave a link below. I'm not recommending them because there's been a lot of mixed reviews, people saying they've not had the results back, and that is important now because if you don't get your results, in theory, you have to self-isolate until you get your PCR result. I've used them a couple of times, I've had results the next day with no problems. I'm just letting you know. If you do pay a wee bit more money, you can actually get PCR tests at the airport almost when you arrive back in the UK, so that'll cut down your isolation time, but you will pay a lot more for those tests, so they're not as cheap. So there's pros and cons, just depends how quickly you need to get back to work really. So are you required to book a COVID test package when you arrive in the UK? At the moment, filming this, everybody is, so I'm going to put yes. So this is very important, your test package booking reference number. So when you booked in the PCR test, at the very end, they will give you a booking reference number. Now, very, very important, sometimes the booking reference number is different from the passenger locator form reference number, the PLF reference number. So what you're looking for is the PLF reference number. Okay, so just check the company you booked the PCR test with, and then you put in the reference number here. Now, in true Blue Peter fashion, I'm just going to show you an example of one that I've previously done. These codes will vary, so they will start usually with letters and end with numbers, and they'll vary. So I'm just going to pop this in just now. Click save and continue. Just check all my confirmation for all my details. Mr. Joe Blogs, date of birth, home address. All looks good to me. Just double check this bit before you submit it, okay? Just double check it. That booking reference number was the very first test that I booked in when the Scottish Government were insisting you book it through the CTM portal in Scotland, which is a complete rip-off. At that point the tests were something over £80, and you could get it from the private list of providers if you stayed in England, and to be honest with you, that works. Just book the cheapest test that you can, but Remember, I can't recommend anything, I'm just a wee guy on YouTube, I'm just showing you what I do. So if you want to follow everything by the book, go on the UK approved list, pick one of the UK approved companies. Click on continue, everything looks okay to me. So I'm going to say send me a PDF by email, so you definitely want it sent by email. You need to declare that all the information is correct. So I understand a traveller must bring proof of your COVID status, etc. Click on submit. There we go. So that's the form submitted. They've given me a reference number for the PLF. You want to take a copy of this, take a picture of this just in case you need it for any reason. So take a wee copy of this, especially the reference number here. The reference number you will sometimes use. Jet2 are definitely doing it when you log in to print off your boarding passes on the way home. Jet2 are now asking you for the reference number for your UK locator form. That's the number that you'll need for Jet2. You will put that number in to get your boarding passes and check in. Jet2. Other airlines might be a wee bit different. Ryanair a wee bit different. EasyJet, TUI, not sure if they're the same. Always just keep a note of this reference number. The most important thing that you want to do is download a copy of your form. I'm just going to put download. The form's going to be sent by email anyway, so don't worry about that. But we're going to download it. I'll show you just in a wee minute what the download looks and your QR code. If you've enjoyed the video and you found it useful, I'd really appreciate if you consider subscribing to my channel on YouTube. My name's Kevin, I do a lot of walks, mostly in Tenerife and some other places. The channel's called Scotsman in Tenerife. Just type it in YouTube, hit the wee button that says subscribe, it's absolutely free. You get a wee message when I upload new videos. So let's go back to the form. So we've downloaded it. Click on open. Just put allow to open that form as well. It's going to be a PDF form. I recommend printing this if you can, it's a lot easier. You can take a copy of it as well. So send it to your email address, take a copy on your phone, print it, just cover all the angles. If you've seen my other video, you'll see the problems I had at Tenerife Airport when I couldn't get signal on the Wi-Fi, and the flight was literally about to leave, and I tried to open this PDF form on my phone and it wouldn't download it. So don't make that mistake. Get organised, get it downloaded and saved on your phone, take a picture of it. There's a QR code there. Okay, so anybody new to QR codes, that is the code that you need, the QR code. All your details are here. Passenger locator form. Just confirms all the details that I've filled in the form. So, pretty straightforward. Give it a wee thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. Don't worry about these forms. They're pretty easy to fill in, especially if you copy these videos just step by step. Just have all your information at hand, all your flight reference numbers, your booking reference numbers, your PCR reference numbers, your passport details. Pretty straightforward. Let me know in the comments if you found the video useful. Don't worry about it. You will fill in these forms no problem whatsoever. And if you're struggling to get them filled in, speak to friends or family who are maybe more tech savvy, they can do it for you. And even when you're abroad, there's lots of shops now offering this service. You just fill in a form with all your details and they'll do everything for you. But remember, you have to do it through the official government website, this locator form. We'll do another video covering the PCR test, but that's how to fill in the locator form. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Check out the other videos on the channel and I'll see you soon.